This streamer just ended an alleged $15,000 interview early and kicked the interviewer out for bringing up a controversial billionaire, which really makes you wonder, is this guy just easy to rage bait, or is this all fake to get more views, or is the name Peter Thiel just that much of a trigger for Clovicular? Who knows, but that's what we're going to try to figure out in today's video.
I'll die on this word that literally nobody told me tonight to do this.
Everyone knows you're a bullshit and you're a piece of shit. Okay.
But this is like,
and you tried to come here. You tried to come here and do this, hit piece journalism all the time. But at the end of the day, turning that around on you, I got my 15,000.
It's not.
And you could get the out.
It's not. It's a good hit piece, but like.
So I'm gonna wait. Are we live on your channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's follow it up.
I can't believe that the lore right now is that I'm Peter Thiel funded. This is nuts.
You literally are.
Guys, like
I have all the confirmation from my team, and it's like.
But show me the.
So what happened here? Well, Clovicular, who we've covered a couple times on this channel now, he was sitting down for what was supposed to be a 30-minute interview with another controversial content creator by the name of Michaela Lalos, who goes by Mika. According to her, she paid $15,000 for a 30-minute interview, which is crazy. Bro is not worth 15 grand for 30 minutes, especially not for her. I'm obviously biased here because I don't pay for interviews. I feel like the largest sum of money someone wanted to be on an interview on my channel was a designer, because someone from his team was like, oh, he'll appear on your channel for an interview if you pay him $7,000. Yeah, that was back in 2019. And obviously that didn't happen, but I digress. If she's paying 15 grand for a 30-minute interview, I'd imagine that she would be pretty selective with the kind of questions because, she doesn't have a lot of time. And I guess specifically, she started bringing up Peter Thiel and mentioning the times that Clavicular has brought him up on stream. And that's when she said that she thought that Peter Thiel might also be funding Clovicular. And from there on out, the tone just completely shifts. Clovicular then gets very defensive. He flips it back on her and accuses her of being funded by Peter Thiel instead.
Palantir is a security surveillance company. They actually teamed up with XAI. They kind of do experiments to get data and stuff like that. And Peter Thiel is Palantir.
I was told that you actually work for Peter Thiel.
Me?
Well, that's because all of the Thiel associates follow you on X.
Who are the Thiel associates?
The people from the fashion stuff. That's kind of what it seems like. You were actually Thiel funded. You are clearly backed by weird organizations, and you
swear to God, they fund other things.
I thought the lowest theme.
No, but I thought it was funding you because the group of men and stuff like that. They don't want.
These people are all following you on X. I asked around about you. You're part of these groups. You're trying to, come here and do some hit piece interview.
Okay, so he claims that his team found blockchain ties linking her to Thiel-backed groups. What? She completely denies it. This all feels incredibly stupid, but if you don't know who Peter Thiel is, without going into way too much detail, he's a billionaire, a part of what many people call the PayPal mafia, and he was an early investor in Facebook. He founded Palantir, which is, quite the controversial company. And there's been some dumb rumors about Clovicular being funded by Peter, which is why I think Mika brought him up. I don't really think she was trying to start anything with that question, but he decided to end the interview after that and tells her to leave on stream.
Let me just wait here for a minute. Don't be
Well, you could wait in the lobby over there.
Dude.
Just wait in the lobby.
This is nuts.
Well, you just in the lobby.
This is the Peter Thiel.
In the lobby. Go ahead. Go.
Well, at least she was coconut water.
Your mics. Here you go.
That was coconut water max.
Here you
It's
go.
mine?
Oh wait, no, these
yours.
are. Oh yeah, these are ours. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Hold on.
I mean, all of this just kind of seems like a LARP. I think he just wanted a clip farm, but she's also a controversial character because, as he mentioned, there are her involvement with Pump Fun and various meme coins. But if you're confused at who Clovicular is and what the hell Frymaxing is, good. Thankfully, you've dodged all of this. Because honestly, learning about Clovicular feels like you've just walked into season 9 of a show that shouldn't exist. To sum it up, he's a 20-year-old IRL streamer who blew up off of Looksmaxxing content, which translated into English means obsessing over jawlines, bone smashing his own cheekbones, blasting very questionable substances to get hollow cheeks, and speaking almost entirely in Gen Z terms. He also has a very nihilistic view of the world and boils down his own value based on how close he can get to what he perceives as physical perfection, or mogging, as he actually says it. As I said in my last video, he's trying to get as close as possible to the handsome Squidward meme. So essentially, the dude is trading life longevity to look better in the short term. But I also feel like he's an outcome of a generation where more than ever base their value on how they think others perceive them. And this is due to, social media, dating apps, and the overall attention economy. But when it comes to attention, it's working for him, as the New York Times actually ended up covering him just last week. And here they published an article titled "Handsome at Any Cost." And the Times described his philosophy as seeing the world as a Darwinian nightclub full of aggressive men jockeying for status. And yeah, that's valid, because this guy is straight out of a Black Mirror episode. Because again, he's doing all these crazy things because he thinks that men are all just competing against each other constantly. It just sounds like an extremely exhausting way to live. Like, the whole interview is insane. But my personal favorite is where he talks about ordering a bunch of substances, like steroids and fat dissolvers, off of the internet as he was a teenager, and how his parents gave up trying to stop him because they couldn't stop his ascension. Yes, he calls his journey to handsome Squidward as his ascension. But also, what do we expect? This is the same guy who was live streaming himself, walking around the ASU campus, begging people for Adderall. I feel like that would be embarrassing enough to do without a live stream, but he chose to live stream it. Because hey, it's 2026. If you're committing a felony, you better live stream it for the whole world to see. But eventually he did actually get arrested for one single loose Adderall capsule that he did have on him when he was caught with a fake ID. So he had this whole potential prison arc going for him, but the charges were dropped. And to that, his entire community was like, oh, he mogged the system. So, okay, well, let's add the billionaire tech investor's name into the environment. Now, before we go any further, I want to be clear. There is no currently confirmed evidence that Peter Thiel funds Clovicular. And there's also no confirmed evidence that Peter Thiel funds Micah either. But there is some internet lore, because last year, Clovicular publicly said that he was invited to a party at Peter Thiel's house. That clip went viral.
Well, okay, what about that one clip where you said Peter Thiel invited you to his own version of a Diddy party? Was that fake?
Do you know who Peter Thiel is? Peter Thiel, yeah. He's a billionaire that owns Palantir. I got invited to a Peter Thiel party. You think that's going to be a Diddy party? Probably. Whew. Billionaires, they get a little creepy. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't want to get diddied. Hey, anybody that's working a lot after they make $100 million has some mental issues. Anyone who makes a lot of money like that, $100 million, has something wrong with them.
People already thought that crossover was weird, but then on stream, he talked about a mysterious benefactor named P, who supposedly funneled large sums of money into his accounts. See, that's kind of interesting. So I guess when Micah is bringing up Thiel, she's not just pulling a random billionaire out of a hat. She's referencing rumors that are already circulating online. And instead of just saying, no, that's not true, there's no connection, Clovicular just escalates it. He accuses her of having blockchain ties to Thiel-funded groups. She then says that his team researched her, and that never happened. But obviously, it's all he said, she said. But Peter Thiel also is very publicly spoken about anti-aging, longevity, biotech, and even cryonics. So hey, there is probably some overlapping there with Looksmaxxing. And then on top of that, he also once said this.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would,
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, a part of why this party invite angle sticks is because with previous reporting about Peter Thiel's social events, in 2023, The Intercept published a piece by Ryan Grimm describing amounts of parties hosted by Thiel and influencer Jeff Thomas. Jeff Thomas, by the way, was a guy that Peter funded. I guess that's the best way to say it. I just don't know if there's another way to say that Jeff was a kept boy or kind of like a sugar baby. That's at least what it seems like he was. But in a report, Jeff Thomas used cryptic terms to talk about Peter's parties. And a few months later, Jeff Thomas sadly fell to his death. And that was eventually ruled as him ending his own life. Now, I am absolutely not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just pointing out that Peter has a past of inviting younger guys to crazy parties and funding their lifestyles. And now, I guess we kind of have proof from Clovicular's own live stream that Peter has tried to get Clovicular to go to said party. Now, since this interview, Micah has responded. She basically said that she got scammed out of $15,000 since Clovicular ended the interview over one question.
So let me get this straight. You charge $15,000 for 30 minutes and then you can't handle a single question? Source, I just made it up. And then you're calling me a scammer, but literally what you just did is scamming. Nobody told me to do this. I went solo, I came alone. And the only reason I asked that question was because everybody was saying that Peter Thiel is the one that got Clovicular released from jail and dropped all of the charges. So yeah, I just got fraud max, but it's pretty pretty clear that Clovicular is funded by Peter Thiel.
Okay, so that's interesting. So she's bringing up the theory that Peter might have been the reason that Clav got out of his recent legal mess. I covered that recently, but basically, Clovicular was detained in Arizona on suspicion of using a fake ID and having a loose prescription capsule while live streaming. And there was a whole bail hearing that was live streamed, and the state argued that he was a flight risk. His lawyer pushed back on probable cause. But then, a few weeks later, a Maricopa County attorney dropped all the charges, citing no reasonable likelihood of conviction. Basically, the charges were dropped because prosecutors decided the case wasn't strong enough to pursue. But I don't know how valid this theory Mika is bringing up, since Aiden Ross was the one who claimed to help fund Clovicular's legal team. So honestly, I think she's reaching here. But either way, if this whole thing wasn't staged, she's out of $15,000, and the Peter Thiel rumors, they just got amplified quite a bit. But that's about it. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.